Greetings, awesomes. How's everybody doing? Hope you're all doing well. We're going to week 8 of our Right 1060 course. Thank you for your patience this week. Sorry for the extreme tardiness of this video. Of course, I'm going to go over a little bit of the week 8 overview. Perhaps this week's kind of maybe a little bit of a refresher for you as you're working in your teams to continue kind of the research process, looking over your proposals. Get back with you and your teams over the next week or so. But I think suffice it to say, most everything that I've read so far, I always try to skim over everyone's research proposal and getting an idea of what their topic is and what's going on there. And I'm really loving, really liking what I'm seeing. Now we're going to kind of take that next week. Now we're going to start putting the thing together, right? So you guys have your team plan, you've done your team management. Everyone's got to cut their responsibilities. Hopefully, you're continuing to meet. This week, we're going to kind of, I don't want to say take a pause from necessarily group work, but each of us as individual researchers working on a collaborative research proposal, kind of want to think about what are you guys doing as a group. Are we getting some good resources? The Googlepedia kind of helps us think about sources that we've probably been led to believe in the past we can't use, i.e. Wikipedia, or even Google for that matter. But Google and Wikipedia can be extremely valuable resources to help us find sources. And I find that a lot of students perhaps already know that, but I do want to reiterate that, and we'll talk about that a little bit more. And then perhaps I think this should be a refresher, hopefully, of everybody, the CRAP test handout for us to really kind of think about evaluating our sources. And then, of course, we'll talk more about, we want to make sure we try to get to some scholarly sources. And then when we think about incorporating quotes into a research paper, I've got these what are called conversation templates. And they're basically templates that help us think about how we can use a source and put it into our paper, how we can incorporate somebody else's words, and then make it flow into our paper, how we set up a quote, how we then quote, and then we quote, and we kind of provide some context after, right? We've had this, perhaps you've heard of the quote sandwich. If you haven't, we'll talk a little bit about that in some upcoming videos. We talk about how we're going to kind of put these things into our paper. What does it look like? How do we use a template, if that makes sense? Okay, so while there's nothing due this week, I hope that you and your teams, maybe if you haven't already started the research process, perhaps you already read over Googlepedia or you're familiar with the CRAP test. Part of that, the refresher part of it, is perhaps not as, maybe you feel confident, and that's good. I'll review that for all of us just to have over the next day or so. And then talk about using the conversation templates, maybe in a little bit more detail next week. But I just want you to have those available, and we'll discuss how we're going to incorporate, because sometimes that's a challenge. You find the quote, or you find something in somebody else's article, or you find something out there, a good source that you want to use as evidence in your research paper. As we talk more about that. How do you then take the quote, put it in your paper? Because we don't want to just kind of plop the quote in, right? There's a way we set up the quote, we introduce the quote, then we quote, and then we contextualize the quote. And we'll talk about what contextualization means in another video, hopefully over the next day or two. So anyway, if you guys have any questions, just let me know. I am beginning to, like I said, I've already kind of read over almost every single one of the proposals. You guys doing a magnificent job. Well done. I think most of the teams are working extremely well together. I know I have a few groups to get back with, and I'll be getting back with you guys hopefully on Friday. So stay safe, stay awesome. If you need anything, please do not hesitate to let me know. Bye, guys.